Video is going to be very interesting format. I'm going to speak aloud how I examine a few works on paper, the way I think about it. So here's something that started like a volcano about a year ago, I think. No, well, 2020 I started the volcano. And then probably a year later, I added very white paint, acrylic, and I sprinkled sand, and sand had some used up coffee beans. So that's why I got cockroaches all over the place. Well, they're gone now. I killed them all. So I pull it out again later, a year later. What immediately comes to me? That the volcano needs a little more elements, because the size of the volcano compared to the tree is sort of 20 feet away, and the volcano looks like it's 3 miles away. It's not 100 miles. So 3 miles away, I need to add those details like little bushes, and perhaps I should continue very gently or make another island here to give it offset balance, because there is too much symmetry. The volcano cuts the page in half, and the tree is almost symmetrical. So I need some kind of smaller element either side. And I also would like to make the dust from the volcano, like the clouds, by using this charcoal. This is a pressed charcoal. I don't like to use natural charcoal because pressed comes different thicknesses. It can be very hard or very soft. In a box of 12, I told you about this brand I'm using. It's called Generals. I think it's made in France or something. So this clouds will be wipe out dirty fingers, okay? And then I will take a razor and manipulate the cloud motion in opposite to the motion of the tree. So the tree branches are going more or less like this, and the motion of the clouds will be in opposite, or maybe even vertical. Because when you create opposites, like a chunk here and here is a cross horizontal, it creates visual interaction. So the harmony you're building is made out of opposites. You understand? So this is what we're doing in art. We're creating harmony out of opposites. This is a very interesting subject. This is biomechanical organisms that I imagine will be walking around this planet. Basically robots, you know. So they're different shapes, and they resemble feet and one or many eyes. And here, I think, incorporated this Gaia tree, this very organic symbol of organic life on planet Earth. And I also tried this. I cut out of plastic a star, shooting star. Well, it's hard to tell. It's a star now, so it didn't work out exactly I wanted, but it's okay. So how am I going to continue? Well, there are many ways I'm thinking about applying like brush strokes size of an inch or shorter, but straight brush strokes onto the tree branches. So to show there are geometric patterns resembling mechanical machines in organic life forms and organic forms on the planet. You understand? So it looks kind of curvy, like a bark of a tree, but you know, in nature you can find things that are absolutely 90 degrees or 45 degrees. So there need to be some sort of communication between the texture of the tree and the texture of the machine. So this is my next step. By the way, I'm reviewing those works on paper, and I'm intending to make one step further, just one step further. My intention is not to finish this particular artwork. As I look at it immediately, what comes to my mind, the volcano needs more heavy mass because it's a solid mountain rock, okay? And the tree is not as heavy. And the water, the body of water here, it needs to be lighter than the rock, of course, and lighter because it's liquid. And the gas, the sky, needs to be lighter because it's goddamn gas, right? So I need to keep the tree as organic as it is right now, and it's very passionate, and there is a hollow in the tree. And I'm thinking about sprinkling yellow dots over here to show that this tree is sort of alive and happy, and the volcano will be exploding. Perhaps I need to make those corners a little darker, sort of continue the shadow onto the right and left. I'm not sure about continuing horizontal line. Perhaps I should. So this is what I intend to do. The water will be, can be done with an eraser, just few strokes to make so it looks. So here's interesting. The volcano is made out of very abstract elements. They're sort of textural. It looks even some sort of organic. It doesn't look like a mountain. So I need to outline and make this edge the darkest part in this drawing, because that's how it looks in nature. If this is the fire pulsating from volcano, spewing from volcano, this edge needs to be the darkest part, because this is the main part, the energy of planet Earth exploding from a volcano. This is what I'm talking about. A second element is the shooting star. I think I should keep it as is. But I think that the sky here, and there's some sort of silver moon, the sky here should be slightly darker and perhaps lighter than this, because this is like a faraway mountain, right? So, and I'm not sure if I need another element here. So here's a faraway mountain, but I don't need anything here. Perhaps here I will make an impression of faraway clouds that 50 miles away from here, the weather is beautiful, but volcano exploded a few minutes ago, and the devastation will be coming. Okay, another volcano. Let's keep this one. I don't want to talk about volcanoes all the time. This is very interesting. So there are two elements here, with something coming closer and closer. There's a symbol of beating two hearts, which is obviously love, and there's a symbol of heart stabbed with a knife, which is heart that was hurt. There's a symbol of God, subatomic particle. There is a symbol of some kind of net, perhaps universe is being created all the time. So obviously these two elements, they resemble human figures, but it's all very dramatic. And I use this green here. Remember, when you apply a little color to a very powerful black and white drawing, the color will always win. You understand? No matter how dramatic, how complex is this, color will always win, because color is more powerful than just black and white. This is the nature of things in human psychology. So what can I do? I'm thinking about making like a spontaneous spiral connecting these two figures, maybe even spiral like this from here to here. So there is definitely powerful connection between these two elements, which are supposed to be human beings talking. One is in love, one is hurt, and I suppose they're talking about love or something. Okay, here's a Gaia tree drawn with pressed charcoal, very passionately, very sloppily, without any details. And here's a very, very bold Pandora's box. I think I need to take a brush and make it dimmer, and the DNA crossing all the space, and somebody carved the two hearts on a trunk of a tree. The tree looks like a figure, and it's walking. Here is one leg, here is left leg, and it's walking in that direction. There is a symbol of God. There's some birds. Here's a nest. So there's a horizon. So I think symbol of God needs to have rays crossing the actual tree. And I think these black lines are too bold. So I need to dim Pandora's box and to do something with these wires of those lines. I need to make them dimmer. I mean less important. And here is what I call pre-existing conditions. So I create those pre-existing conditions. I glue some kind of sculpture, I think Picasso from 1920s. I glue a piece of my diaries. I glue aluminum something. I glue a piece of acrylic paint from some old paintings. And here is some goddamn stain from coffee. And I already signed it. There are also rubber stamps of hearts. So, but it's sort of empty here, you understand? It doesn't satisfy me. So I need to think about what I would like to do. So I can have a nude figure of a woman on a couch over here, and painting is above the couch, or I can have two elements as if two figures talking to each other. Perhaps Pablo Picasso, some woman in 1920s he married to Olga, Russian ballerina. So here will be ballerina Russian nobility, and here is Pablo Picasso covered with paint, and they will be talking. That's what I'm thinking about. Okay, this is actually a probe made out of acrylic paint when I'm trying to see if this acrylic paint is going to hold paper as a glue. Acrylic should, and can it hold it fabric? And it does. So I mixed up many paints, hundreds of colors, and I'm checking. This is just a checkboard, but can I use it? Can I do something with it? It has these 3 abstract elements, which can be like figures or something, you understand? So what my fantasy, my imagination can take it further. Well, let's say there are 2 women and a man, or 2 men and a woman, and they're in the park. So I need some kind of elements depicting the park or something, you understand? Here's a very old drawing from 2020 or 2019. And it's supposed to be a self-portrait. But, self-portrait, the definition of self-portrait is like, who am I? What is my consciousness? Not just the way I look. It's irrelevant how I look. I have no nose, no ears, I'm missing 1 leg. It doesn't matter. What matters is the inner world, my spirituality, how I feel about my immortality and the infinite mind of mine. So this is what I paint. So I don't look like this, well, maybe a little bit, but, I have a dimple and everything. But you understand? So self-portrait is a spiritual statement. My kind of self-portrait is a spiritual statement of reality. And this is what many scientists and historians imply about Mona Lisa. Leonardo da Vinci is actually, after 3 years, he was painting from a model, from a woman, but he decided not to give it to the sponsor. Maybe the guy didn't want to finish paying for this painting. And he continued painting this Mona Lisa for 15 years. And he sort of changed it into a self-portrait as a vision of reality. Yes, Leonardo was a man, depicted as Mona Lisa. But there is a way to express the vision of reality without, being very precise about the gender. Perhaps for marketing purposes, he thought, let's leave it a woman because most of depictions are women in art and everybody loves women. They're so pretty, they're so cute. So let's leave it a woman. But I'm going to depict a vision of reality. What reality means to me. What are these enigmatic darknesses and lightness and volcanoes? You understand? And love plus DNA means life. Well, you need DNA, and then you need to make love to create life. Okay, 12 minutes, that's enough.